Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we'll be reading 1 Year of Serious Tracking and Effort, 219.4 pounds down. Also, our merch store is now live. Be sure to check it out in the description below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. Introduction. This is my first progress post on this subreddit. I've made an effort to keep section and subsection focused and easy to read, so hopefully it is quick to navigate. So why now? There have been significant milestones before now. Why does this one deserve a post? I think it is because it marks the 1 year anniversary from when I decided to take my weight loss efforts more seriously. To me, this is important because I feel like I've already won, and now my success is just a matter of my body catching up to my current mental outlook. I am a different person now. November 27th marked a couple of changes for me. I began tracking my daily activity using an Apple Watch and pushing myself to close the rings every day. I also began weighing myself daily and being more honest with myself about the effort I was putting forth and the consistency of my calorie counts and effort at the gym. It's been quite a year, and it's a good time to reflect, and my hope is that the words I've written here will help one of you think about things a little differently, or maybe even get started on your own progress. So let's get started. Statistics. Age 31, male, height 6'3", highest weight over 550 pounds. Weight as of November 27, 2017, 503.6 pounds. And weight as of November 27, 2018, 284.2 pounds. My approach. The big question for many will be, how did I get these results? I will say that these are my current habits, and I do not attest that they are flawless, nor would they likely even be effective for you, dear reader, unless you found yourself in a similar situation to me. That being said though, perhaps you will find something you can use in your own efforts, or even just a new way of approaching things. The real focus is finding what habits you can build and maintain in perpetuity. This was not what I did throughout the entire year, but rather where I am at now. Diet. The most crucial aspect of losing weight is counting/managing your calories. To that end, I consume 2,400 calories every day with macronutrient targets of 220 grams protein, 80 grams fat, and 200 grams carbohydrates. These numbers were calculated for me by a personal trainer, and I found them to be very sustainable. I make the priority to get enough protein using sources like egg whites, chicken breast, protein powders, and bars. I also elect for bread/pasta with more protein as well as Greek yogurt, all to hit that requirement as my first priority. Once that is done, I use nuts or peanut butter to get enough fat, and then fill the rest of my calories with carbs like fruit and veggies, or even a bit of candy or something. The nice thing about this approach is that it is flexible. I can make pretty much any food work, I just have to work all my meals around it. It becomes almost like a mini game of Tetris. I don't meal plan per se, but rather pre-log my days in MyFitnessPal so that if I want something specific, I can have it, hit my macros, and not be stuck with 50 calories for dinner or something. Exercise. My current gym routine is to go 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, on an alternating 3-2 split of chest, shoulders, arms for the 3, and then back and legs for the 2. I also do 30 minutes of cardio each day. As mentioned in the introduction, I have made an effort to be active every day, enough to fulfill my watch rings. For me, this means a lot of walking, usually between 15 and 20k steps, as well as swimming on the days when it's too rainy out. Supplements. I take 6 supplemental products that I am mostly helpful with. I fully admit that some of these might not be necessary or maybe just giving me a placebo effect, but I've been happy enough with my progress so I don't see much reason to mess with the formula too much. Anyway, here we go. Multivitamin, useful to ensure I'm not deficient in any nutrient. Fish oil, good for your heart, I guess? I don't know, this is the one I feel like I understand the least, lol. BCAA capsules, supposedly helps with burning fat and building muscle, taken before and after working out. Whey protein, taken as a protein infusion after a gym session. Casein protein, taken at night to help with recovery. I also find that it helps keep my stomach occupied and cuts down on hunger. Collagen peptides, good for skin and joints supposedly. I split this dose over my whey and casein, useful for a bit of extra protein as well. Advice I would give anyone wanting to start. I know some of you reading this are thinking about starting on your own journey. I was once like you, browsing the subreddit looking for an answer to a seemingly impossible problem. Here's my advice specifically for you. It might not be as hard as you think. In fact, when you start out, it is the hardest it will ever be. I honestly do not feel like I have to sacrifice all that much to get the results I want. I still enjoy junk food. I am just mindful of how much I have a day, and I know that I make progress as long as I keep that in check. This will depend greatly on your personal stats, but you can make a lot of your favorite foods and lifestyle work in such a way that you will still make progress. Start now and start small. We are almost in December. I know the temptation is to push this back as a New Year's resolution. Don't do this. This is a month of progress you are delaying. Perhaps more importantly, it's a month of experience, a month of figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. It also becomes incredibly easy to give yourself one last hurrah for eating what you want before you start for real. This is a lie that you tell yourself. The truth is, there is no difference between eating all those calories today or on January 2nd. You are accountable for all of them regardless. Any change you make that you can keep up permanently is an improvement you will be rewarded for in time. It can be as small as starting to track, seriously the most important thing, or switching to diet pop or trying to exercise 1 day a week. Do not try to change your entire life overnight. That will be overwhelming. Start small and ramp up little by little, change by change. Failure is an opportunity to improve. There are times that you will fail. That is normal. That is expected. Despite my success, I fail all the time. What I try to do though is learn from each failure. Look at why it happened, how bad it really was, and how to avoid it or minimize the damage for next time. Failure is temporary. You can only mess up so much in a day. The lessons you learned from that failure though could potentially stick with you for years. Framed like this, any individual failure has immense potential for your overall success. Treat it as such. Advice I would give to anyone in the process of losing weight. Then there's the rest of us, those of us somewhere between the start and the end. Hopefully something here helps you. Surround yourself with comrades. I find it very helpful to be involved with communities that focus on weight loss. I've met some absolutely wonderful people this way, and it truly gives a sense of shared resolve against a burden that you might otherwise feel as insurmountable. This is especially helpful if you don't know anyone in other ways who is trying to lose weight as a priority. It is so rewarding to see their progress alongside your own. Time makes it easier. There are days that are a struggle, other days are an outright failure. Though it seems difficult at the time, you are strong enough to make it through the temptation, to persevere through the workout that you really don't want to do, and then you are a step closer to your goals, and that struggle is forgotten about. A year isn't really that long when you start to reflect on it. Make yourself the priority. One thing I find people saying constantly is how they are limited from doing what they think is best for them by others. They will not go to the gym because they feel watched, or they will not go out with friends or compromise on their diet due to influence from coworkers or something. I can't advise strongly enough that you make yourself the priority and do what you think is right for you. I've gone to my gym for over a year now, and the people there have seen me totally change, and they have been nothing but supportive. That's nice, but ultimately, I go for me, because it helps me reach my goals and get that much closer to where I want to be. Outro. Alright friends, that's my post. Thanks so much for reading some of it. This community has been very useful to me, and I wanted to contribute back to that. The question is always, what's next? For me, the next significant milestone is 275 for a few reasons. It's half of my highest known weight, which means I will have lost more than I weigh total. And it is also the 90% mark based on the numbers I've done currently for Happy Scale. I should hit that in the first half of December or so. Beyond that is my first major goal of 250, which is me getting out of the obese range for my height and into the overweight status. Early next year for that, I think. Final goal I think will be somewhere between 200 and 240. 220 appeals to me because it's a nice round 100 kilograms. We shall see though. I also want to start running and pursue other athletic endeavors like tennis, snowboarding, fencing, and whatever else may capture my interest. See you around. P.S. Here is my dog. And that brings us to our featured narwhals of the day. If you'd like to be a featured narwhal, just head on over to our subreddit at r/losingnarwhals. Link is in the description below. Our first featured narwhal of the day is Juliana99, and they say, female, 20, 5'1", 176 pounds to 127, equals 49 pounds. Time to celebrate some face gains with my fellow narwhals. Thanks for keeping me motivated. Our next featured narwhal of the day is Vank, and they say, I heard we were doing face gains, 5'10", 325 to 175 since October 2018. And our last featured narwhal of the day is the Sleepiest Panda, and they say, love the new merch. Speaking of that, if you haven't checked out the merch store yet, feel free to head to shop.lukenarwhal.com. The merch is all there and it's all live. Everything is still in stock. And thank you so much to everyone who has and supported the channel. Thanks again for sharing, Narwhals. Be sure to like and subscribe for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. Thanks for watching, Narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.